Well, that was awkward. So, oops.
What's wrong?
I had the YouTube thing on, and now the Twitch on. Okay, there we good. All right, hello everybody in the interwebs, all you galleys and gooses and geeses and other birds of what form. My name is Shannen, your wonderful neighborhood anime misfit, and welcome tonight for the first, well, not the first, but the first live show of the Community Corner podcast, because we couldn't be bothered to do it in post. Joining me tonight is the always lovely, always round, he who has 14 birds in his house. AviewandaLike or Lamp. Say hi, Lamp.
Hello. Yes, pardon the birds in the background. Hello.
And tonight we have our guest, the wonderful, the spicy, the person who probably likes ices, Ari.
I actually very much do enjoy ices. And Lamp, while you have birds, I have a big, giant snoring pit bull in the background. So if you hear snoring, it's my dog Jewel. She's 8 years old. Please leave her alone.
Aww.
She is very cute.
Anyway, so a quick little rundown before we get into all the talkie poos. So yes, me and Lamp were like, we need to find a faster way to do these podcasts, and we're not getting people long enough for any of that hoo-ha. So we decided, why not just make it live? Because that way, when it's all done, our words will be fully ingrained and posted for the public for all to see the day later. So here we are. We'll be doing this every month with a new person. And we're literally going as improv can. May or may not. Depend. Will we have fuck ups? Probably. But we'll just cross those bridges when we get there. Okay, so Ari, before we talk about the goods, tell us about who you are, where you come from, what you do, and stuff.
Who I am? I'm Ari. I come from the interwebs. I am one of many pissed off nerds on the interwebs. I run the YouTube channel Call Me Ari, where I talk about anime and comics and, my undying love for indies and independent media and art. And there's also a dumbass podcast that I do just for fun with my friend Emma called Two Dorks Talk. That podcast is kind of split up between 3 segments. We have, just kind of general discussions on things that we like, and we also have this thing called Coffee Break, where we focus on more than one topics. And then there's the Fujo Cast, where we talk about fandom shit that we love. It's unfortunately on an indefinite hiatus because I don't really know when I'll have the time to do it bi-weekly again, and Emma is in school, although she's currently on summer break. So I don't know when Two Doors Talk is going to come back, but I'm definitely still doing some anime and comic stuff, and I literally just uploaded today with a new video called Oh God, One Punch Man Season 2 that got blocked worldwide, and I didn't feel like fighting it, even though YouTube literally just updated their copyright rules for the better for once. But there's a mirror link, and I suffered to make that, so please watch it to ease my pain.
I think they're still trying to implement that though, right? Like the whole system.
Oh no, speaking of that system, me and Ari just were talking about that before you got here. Because so we were ecstatic because Team YouTube is actually trying to fix copyright. Is Ding Dong the Witch is dead? Is our cows falling from the sky? Oh, I should probably turn off this promo for your channel. I was just feeling really good about it. And there we go. That's gonna look great, and that's gonna look great after the whole podcast is over. I'm just doing really good with all these transitions. Look, I'm proud of myself. I made all these assets like in a couple of hours. Okay, like give me some things. Also, I can't read the YouTube chat because my thing is completely full. So Lamp was gonna take care of looking at it for me. Anyway,
So far the chat is quiet, and I misspelled the word everyone. So yay.
Oh, okay. So what? Okay, so here's what was I talking about? Oh yeah. YouTube is actually trying to fix the abusive copyright system.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. So on Twitch, Twitter.
Yes, that's it.
They were saying, I'm quoting I'm only gonna read the first word. lots to come with copyright today. We're starting a few new changes. Manual claims now require timestamps showing exactly where it is. So basically, they can't just be like, that copyright's mine. I'm out, bitch. Oh, shit. Damn it. I broke my own rule. Oh, well. I'm sorry. Oh well, cat's out of the bag. Let's curse. If we're gonna curse, we might as well curse till the I said we had a 5-minute rule. I've broken like 2 minutes. That was not even a minute.
YouTube. This is YouTube's fault. We were literally like, no swearing the first 5 minutes because YouTube will detect it and suppress the video, and we won't get as many views. And then, fuck, we are.
I told myself I'd be the first one to break it, too.
I was gonna be the first one.
No. We had a contest. I was gonna be the first one, and I was right. So, anyway, well, now I am fuck bitch asses up to this. Great, everybody. YouTube is doing a godly sense. See, we're praising YouTube for once. So, golf clap. So anyway, YouTube is actually fixing it. People can't just be like, that's my video and get outie. They're improving editing tools with the editing tool. So basically, if someone's like, hey, so and so part of the video has my music, you can fix it, and guess what? It automatically gets released. That's a novel idea.
I mean, YouTube was like, oh, we have such a powerful editor. And I actually took a look at it and I was like, sweetie, no.
That ain't it, Chief. And like, also, and they're basically like, hey, if someone abuses the copyright one too much times, they'll lose their ability to manual review, which means Toei will finally get some. Hopefully.
This is revenge for History of One Piece, you fucking cunt!
That means a certain Zenith that we all know and love, she might get her series back.
She's fucking better, because I actually, oh my god, when we met, we bonded over One Piece, and I actually really enjoyed her series, and then it stopped, and I was sad. One Piece literally brought us together, and Toei took away her fucking series, and I'm pissed.
Yeah, like, all these YouTube changes have, like, made me bewildered, because as a small YouTuber, while we don't get monetized, what's more important with the monetization is visibility and, getting the good old axe, because we can't fight it because we're too small. Bigger channels talk about, oh, it's okay, but they can fight it because they're big enough.
Yeah, that's always the thing. It's like, YouTube, oh, it's okay with copyright because, you can fucking get rid of it, but it's like, yeah, but you have 500,000 subscribers. I only have 100. I can't fight anything. What are you talking about?
That's why monetization types rules still apply to us, in my opinion, because we kind of have to act as if we're monetized, so we kind of are ahead of the game. But anyway, it's good news for once. For once, we don't have to bash on YouTube. It'll probably change in about a couple of weeks from now. Like, if they're being vague about it. Cue unintentional burp. But things should, maybe things will work out in the better. I don't know.
YouTube has been in a dark age for such a long time. It's just 2016, everything went downhill for them, and there really needs to be some actual change for the better.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is the first step, I'll take it. If it's just, a shining light in a road of darkness, that's just surrounded by darkness, I'll still take it because at least it's something. So I can't complain.
I'm living in a world of darkness. Dayman. Oh yeah, I can't do that because singing melodies can get you copyright struck.
Oh,
yeah, Mr.
right.
Beast literally uploaded a video where he hummed a tune to a song and it literally got struck down by a Warner Music Group.
Whoa.
Yeah, he literally just hummed it and it got detected and taken down by a Warner Media Group.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. That's how fucking broken this shit is.
Yeah, I still think the profanity rule is jank, though.
Well, I think that if you said you don't have it to sing the lyrics, you can just say the lyrics verbatim in a flat tone, and it still counts as the song. From what I remember.
Now it got more strict. It's like melody. To detect melody, it used to be you could like change all the all the frequencies and post and be all like I can be sneaky and shit. But like now it's like you even hear melody, you get the ban.
Look, as long as History of One Piece is able to come back, I'm happy. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So now that we've kind of gotten all the general mainstream stuff out the way, let's do what we weeaboos do best and talk about anime. So, should we talk about the seasonal stuff first? Talk about what everybody's currently watching.
I only watching Vinland Saga because these past 4 days of my life has been stressful and I haven't been able to start any of the new shows. So literally right before this, I just finished the 3rd episode of Vinland Saga because Studio Wit smiled down upon my weeb ass and said, hey, we're not just going to give you the 1st episode of Vinland Saga, we're going to give you the first 3. And I was like, bless you so much.
And the first bird has spouted of the night.
Sorry.
I myself have been watching a couple of things here and there. I just like I just pieced out of spring season. I did not watch much of spring. To me it just was a boring season. There was nothing on except sequel stuff or anything that was still going on from like winter. Like I was on Dororo really hard. I'm still still needing to binge finish it, but like Dororo was my jam. It is my jam. And I was watching One Punch Man season 2, of course. I skipped Fruits Basket because I was like, I will just binge it when I wanna. I know it follows the manga and it continues onward, but like, also, can we just talk about that? So, because like it's happening this current season with Dr. Stone and Fire Force. Dr. Stone hype.
I haven't seen it yet. Don't tell me anything. I haven't seen it yet.
But like, okay, so if you go on Crunchyroll's Twitter. They do this sometimes. They're doing it more and more with a lot of their, like, anime series, and I'm starting to get worried, is that, like, they pick a series to basically be their martyr for the season, and they push it out in the open. They advertise it everywhere. Like, Dr. Stone was advertised in Times Square. It was in my email. Like, I love the show, but it was put in my email box. It was put in my feeds. It was on Times Square. And their Twitter's like, watch Dr. Stone now. I kind of don't like how, like, Crunchyroll's kind of being invasive to what I watch. I know they have a lot of influence in the show, and they were pushing that show hard, but but we all remember what happened with Guy Guardian Spice when they did that.
No, they did the same thing with Mob Psycho. It was literally like, oh, watch Mob Psycho. This show is amazing. It's so good. It's from the creator of One Punch Man, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, okay, Crunchyroll, I get it. But chill, because I'm already watching it. Watch fucking Mob Psycho. I'm watching it, bitch. Fuck.
I guess it just shows how much. Set number 2. I'm gonna keep counting these. Okay, so it just makes me kind of nervous to like. Makes me ask, how much influence are they having in the production of the anime? Probably a lot in the production of the anime being made for the West, because it's now a globalized market. So, and I'm probably asking the dumb idiots question, because someone in the chat will probably be a lot more knowledgeable than I am. But like, with more influence the West is having on anime, i.e. Crunchyroll, the more it feels like if they don't push the series, what will happen?
I mean, with Amazon, I feel like Amazon has an absolute lack of respect for anything that isn't theirs, because with Anime Strike was such a god-awful service, but at least it had this thing called advertising and marketing, and then they got rid of Anime Strike, because no shit, and everything went on to Prime, but with all the shows on Prime, you hear nothing about them. Like, you heard nothing about Dororo. You heard nothing about Happy Sugar Life. You're not hearing jack shit about Vinland Saga. And I was thinking about doing a video breaking down how Amazon doesn't respect anime. And one of the things I noticed in my research was, absolutely zero marketing. I went onto their regular Twitter. I went onto their Prime Twitter, their Prime Video Twitter. Nothing about anime. There was no, new episode of this is up and out. It's just, you don't even, when you go onto the Prime Video website, they don't show new releases for anime. It's just stuff that I've already seen or have added to my list. But when I was looking to find Vinland Saga, nothing about Vinland Saga on the front page.
Yeah, I mean,
very Western approach, to be fair. It's like, this is our stuff. You're gonna watch what's popular with us, and it's like, oh, there's new stuff over here. No. You're gonna watch our stuff.
But Netflix, they promote their shit all the goddamn time. Like when what's oh god, Ultraman, Moomin Rider, Kamen Rider, Ultraman. When the new CGI Ultraman came out, Netflix really marketed that. And the person that they put in charge of marketing it was a huge fan of the show and was super hyped for it. Like, literally tweeted out, oh, the first ever Ultraman CGI series. And everybody was like, no. And he said, oh, sorry, I'm just so excited. And that's such a good sign. So with things like Netflix, they want their stuff to be watched. And it's not just theirs. It's everything. They want, like, Always Be My Maybe. They want that to be watched just as much as Ava and Kakegurui and Spider-Verse. Netflix really cares about their content, unlike Amazon.
Yeah, but if I may, as the devil's advocate to Netflix, I don't hate Netflix, but I'm in that same camp of, I mean, I don't have it myself, but I'm in the same camp of, I'm more willing to criticize it. While they do promote anime a lot, and they're trying to put a lot of investment, they're also have the same Amazon mindsets of, they treat any kind of new content as they treat the same amount of respect to content for one anime as they did like a live action show. There is no like specialization like say something in Funimation and Crunchyroll would have. So that's why there was that whole spark with the whole Ava controversy and how they pretty much kind of just went with the bare bones because of money costs and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I can only think about how the fucking prices for Fly Me to the Moon has fucking skyrocketed. Also, Zenith said Netflix bring back How I Met Your Mother. Preach. Fucking hell.
I'm just saying that, like, there's pros and cons to both of them. Netflix does advertise more, which is a good thing, but they have their own dealings with how they treat anime, so I wouldn't say they're completely in the clear.
No, I think it's more, okay, with anime-focused platforms, of course, they're going to be focused on the anime. That's what they make money off of. With places like Funimation, of course, they're going to treat their voice actors well, but they're also going to treat the anime well, because that's what they make money off of. It's a business. But I really like how Netflix treats its anime because it has its own category and genre, and you boot up the front page, and it says, oh, you like anime? Here, how about checking out the new season of Kakegurui? Or, hey, Relakuma Karu is now out. How would you like to watch this today? But, like I said, with Amazon, who just absolutely does not care, you don't see anything. Like, how many fucking people know that Vinland Saga aired Sunday and the Roro just finished? How many people even knew that the Roro existed without the help of the AniTube community?
Wait, Vinland Saga's on Amazon?
Vinland Saga is unfortunately on Amazon, which
no wonder.
Yeah, my exact reaction.
I was looking for it, and I was like, because my main two, because I already have Prime on Autopilot. So, and also another thing, because all of the anime on Amazon is part of Prime. For me, my mindset is Prime is what I use to get my weird like craft stuff in 2 days mail. I don't think watching anime on it, unless I know what show is on, is the last thing I think about. So, and I have High Dive of all other things too, and I use that even less than Crunchyroll. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like yeah, their advertisement is really bad, and when something's on like High Dive, I get a notice that something's coming to High Dive if it does come to High Dive. So when something comes to Amazon and it's just
High Dive, I'm still waiting. Like, no, High Dive, Sentai, I'm still waiting for my Food Wars Season 3 dub. Please, thank you. I've been waiting for so long. Oh my god, I only watched the show in English. Send help.
So,
I mean, I guess dub is like no sub option at all.
No, there's sub and dub on,
High Dive
and whatnot, but Amazon does not dub any of their anime. Like, if an anime that's on Amazon has been dubbed, it was licensed by Sentai. But then the whole anime strike thing happened, and people were really upset with them. So Sentai ended up pulling their shows from Amazon and putting them on High Dive because Amazon is just such a shitty fucking service, and everyone hates them. Yeah, so like shows that were once on Amazon, like Made in Abyss and Princess Principal, those are Sentai shows, and they're probably not even on Amazon anymore. They're probably on High Dive because Sentai licensed them and they just streamed them on Amazon, but now they have their own platform with High Dive.
I will be the checker of that because I have High Dive. I like High Dive's model because it's the cheapest of all the models. Also, like Crunchyroll is upping their prices in August, so yeah. Main Abyss is on High Dive. Yes.
Yeah, Made in Abyss is on High Dive because it's been dubbed and whatnot. Land of the Lustrous is also there too,
Yep.
and that's gotten an English dub recently.
Yes.
And okay, babe, if you want Aniplex to be bought out by Funimation, ask Sony because Sony bought Funimation.
So
Literally happened.
so with Vinland Saga, because it's on Amazon and a lot of us are many of the uninformed. This is your soapbox now, Ari. Tell us, what's it about? What do you think of the first 3 episodes?
Okay, I've been waiting literally all week for this. Like after your last live stream, I've just been looking forward to this so much because oh my god. Okay, bit of background on me. If you guys don't watch my channel, every single year I for the past 2 years, I've been making these videos going over my favorite anime and comics of the previous year. And this year, my best comic of 2018 was Vinland Saga. And afterwards, I usually make a video explaining why I love it so much. And we'll get to that when we talk about Aggretsuko. But this year, I thought Vinland Saga is just so good and so important and so complex and layered that it needs a whole series. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the show, which is oh my god, Studio Wit blessed me. So here's Vinland Saga, and here's why you should watch it. Because Shannen, I know you say you don't like historical anime. Well, Vinland Saga is in fact a historic fiction anime that is about Vikings. It takes place in the early 11th century in Denmark, where we follow a young man named Thorfinn. And Thorfinn grew up at the end of the world, is what they call it in Iceland. And he grew up in a peaceful village where no one knew war. His father, Thors, turns out to actually be a former Viking who left because he discovered what it meant to be a true warrior. So years later, Thorfinn is about 6 years old, and his father is called back to war after deserting his troop called the Yoms Vikings. And Thorfinn, after being just fascinated by the tales of a sailor named Leek Erison, I can't pronounce it. It's Danish as fuck. It's either Leaf or Left, so I'm going to flip a lot because I still can't pronounce it. But I'm just gonna call him Erickson because that's his last name. Erickson tells him the story about a time where he sailed across the ocean past Jormungand to a new continent, and this continent was beautiful. It was warm and there was grass everywhere, and he decided to name it Vinland. So Thorfinn hears these stories and he is just so fascinated by them, and he just wants to leave and become a sailor, but he's so young. But he decides to defy his father and his family by sneaking onto his father's ship while he departs for war. And on the way to the battleground, where the plan was to actually turn around and leave the young men, including Thorfinn, and let them go back to Iceland with Ericsson, they end up getting ambushed by a group of Vikings led by a leader named Askeladd. And Thorfinn watches his father die. So
Damn.
after that traumatic experience, Thorfinn is pissed. Like, you fucked up when this innocent child's eyes are filled with rage and death and murder. And he takes his father's knives, which are dual blades that he holds in both hands. He takes his father's knives and he vows to kill Askeladd. And fast forward several years later, and Thorfinn actually ends up being raised by Askeladd, his father's murderer, and he also joins his Viking group and does jobs for Askeladd. And the reason why he does this is because every time he does well and they win a job, Thorfinn gets a chance to fight Askeladd. And he's been doing this for years. And Thorfinn is a fantastic fighter, but he keeps losing. So Vinland Saga, but Vinland Saga is more than just Thorfinn's tale of revenge, because it starts out being a revenge story, but what it turns into is so much more. Because yes, this is a story about Vikings and being a warrior, but Vinland Saga is actually about what it means to be a true warrior, because it's a violent anime and manga. It is a graphic show, and they do not hold back on the brutality of what it's like to be a Viking and how violent it is, and people fucking die. Like, the manga is so highly detailed and gory. It is fantastic. It is brutally bloody, and it is excellent. But Vinland Saga is it's a war story with an anti-war message. It's a story with so much development for these characters and depth. It's a story that shows the effects of the Vikings' actions and how people suffer from them. But it's ultimately the story of Thorfinn. And I don't want to give anything away about him, but Thorfinn has a fantastic character and character development, because it starts out being a revenge story, like I said, but it turns into so much more. And it is worth checking out just to see Thorfinn's journey. And the most I'm going to say about that journey is he was his father, he is his father, and he will surpass his father. And it is excellent because of that. I mean, I originally checked it out because it was a revenge tale, but then it stopped being that. And what it became after that blew my mind. So, in the anime, like I said, the first three episodes is Thorfinn's childhood, from him in Iceland to the ambush with his father Thor's. And again, Thor's dying is not a spoiler because it's a revenge story, but the anime does such a good job adapting it. I think Gigok said it best when the first PV dropped. Vinland Saga is the adaptation Berserk deserved, because there is some CGI, but it's not jarring how they switch between the CGI fight scenes, because Thor is a fucking big dude. His name is Thors for a reason. But the switch between CGI and 2D isn't jarring. It's animated beautifully. Like, I just look at these people's eyes and go, oh my god, they're so blue. And the violence and the brutality of it is also there. Of course, it's not going to be as detailed as the manga, which showed just every single little thing, because hey, Vikings, people die, but it's all there. Like, I was literally comparing it to the manga while reading it, and they added in some things like Thorfinn doing his chores, but they also switched some things around. Like, the show starts off with Thor's being a Viking, and all in all, I just think it's such a good adaptation of the manga, and it's the adaptation that the manga deserves, which is something that I kind of needed after One Punch Man season 2. So the anime is really good so far, and like I said, Studio Wit decided to bless us by putting the first 3 episodes online, so you can watch it online right now with Amazon Prime. But the manga is also just as worth checking out, because the person who made the manga is the author of Planets, a sci-fi manga, and I actually have it right next to me. And in the West, the manga is published in books, and the books are over 400 pages right
400
now.
pages?
Last time I checked. So it's worth checking out both. It's very much worth checking out both, because you really will not be disappointed. And I wish I could go into more detail about it, but
You
trust me, you will
spoiled
not be disappointed.
everything.
And yes, I saw that promotion and I love it.
Yes. So, yes, I was looking up pictures so I could have. I'm a visual person, so I was looking at pictures while you were talking about it, and like,
I forgot to send that to Zenith because she actually really loves Zombieland Saga.
yes, I love this picture. So it really does sound like something I'd be interested in. Like okay, so I normally don't go into like super historical. And when I mean historical anime, I mean like, say, feudal Japan stuff, unless it's like Dororo with a slight bit of like supernatural and shit. Because when it comes to historical stuff, I do get bored. There are times that you have to add some element to the historicalness to make me want to make me want to look at it. Like, make the historical engaging. You don't have to, like, make a lie of the rules, but, I just prefer if it was more engaging. Like, I couldn't get into Kingdom. I tried. Everyone was talking about when Kingdom was a thing, to get into Kingdom. I couldn't. I couldn't. Or Garo. I know Garo has supernatural, but, like, I couldn't get to Garo either, even though it was semi-historical. But, like, this is Vikings, man. I'm really excited for the whole Viking stuff.
Well, let me warn you, because you say that you don't like it when it's super historical, and I'm gonna say it does have that engaging quality, that engaging aspect of the Roro, but it is not supernatural, because part of my Vinland Saga series is going to be divided into parts. So, like, the main stuff is going to be going over the manga arc by arc, but there's also going to be in between episodes where we talk about historical accuracies, and that's because the mangaka, he does every single thing in order to make this manga as historically accurate as possible, but it's not educational. It doesn't explain it to you, but there are things like, okay, a female character comes in later and she has a crossbow, and you're wondering how the fuck does she get this crossbow, because Viking armor is heavy as shit. And it turns out she actually modified this crossbow to make it as lightweight as possible. And when you look in the afterwards and you see the sketches, he really thought of everything in order to make these weapons function from the time period they came from.
I mean, okay, let me rephrase what I was saying. It's just, like, I think my problem is that sometimes when I watch a historical anime, it'll lose me, like, halfway through an episode by trying to explain, like, where, because, like, obviously, if it's a place I haven't been to, like, when they do specifically when they do feudal Japan stuff, it's like, okay, I've seen this before. I mean, you're giving me a history lesson in the middle of it. I'm trying to understand who are these people, and by the time they finish explaining what the fuck is going on, I have checked out.
Yeah, none of that is in Vinland Saga. It's original characters. It's just set in a time period where the historical accuracies are there, but, you know, some of the characters are based on real people, like Eriksson. He was a real person who actually did sell to Vinland, and Vinland is actually America, but historians do not know where Vinland is located. It's located somewhere between New England and Northern Canada, and, you know, that's stuff that I'm going to dive into when I get into my Vinland Saga series.
I'm also just not a person that can pay that. I'm not really it could also, because of my curse, I'm not really a history person. I'm more of a math and science person, as to why I like Dr. Stone so much. I'm
a history buff. I can't help it.
But, like, I think I am interested in it because I do like a good adventure series. Like, oh yeah, hold on. Adventure! I like a good adventure series a lot. So this seems like something that'll focus a lot on the epic tales, like in Beowulf. It won't be like that Beowulf with whatever her face name is, and it wasn't Angelina Jolie. It's the weird CGI one.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, there was a Beowulf. There was a Beowulf movie they did in CGI. It was someone showed it, thought it was the right idea to show it in my 12th grade class, and it was the one where I think it was Angelina Jolie. I don't know her name, and she was playing Greta's mother and Gertrude's mother, and essentially she boned Beowulf. Yeah, it was that whole thing.
I never read Beowulf. Also, Zenith, I sent that promo in the Discord chat with you, but I never read Beowulf, and I don't know what to say to that, but I do know, Shannen, you will like it, because it's more, it has something for everyone. It's just all of the historical accuracies. They're really fun to pick up if you're into them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But
I
don't
see Angelina. I don't see Angelina on that list on Beowulf.
I don't know what her name is. I'm not good with putting, like, certain actors to faces. I can see the face. I don't remember the name half the time unless they're right in my face.
Robin Wright. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. So yeah. Speaking of which, any comments in the YouTube comments, Lamp?
Nope. Arya Girly Magic has commented recently. I want putting an anime on the watch list, and I need to watch Shield Heroes.
Shield Hero? Oh man, I really love Shield Hero.
I got some choice words about, like, Okay, so I'm writing a review for it after I talk about certain people's hype, certain shows' hype. But I don't like how it should have ended when Naofumi got exhausted.
I know what
got
you're
revenge.
about.
Like, it was trying to do that. It was trying to do that tailspin of, oh, we should give them more content so they read the manga afterwards, because they're gonna feel like they're completed. No, we gotta get them to read the original source material. That's why they gave us the extra episodes of them going on a training trip, only to just end it abruptly and be like, hey, we're just gonna slap on some stuff that wasn't even fully drawn in the manga yet, because we want people to read the original source material. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I know that feels, because they did the same fucking shit with Overlord. And here I am, waiting for a season 4 that will never happen, but Madhouse is like, oh no, Skelly Boy is sitting in his throne, you don't need any more? And it's like, yes, Madhouse, yes, I do need fucking more.
I mean, and this is coming from the girl who always spouts that you do not need to rely on the original source material to make a show fun. It's just with Shield Hero, even if I just take that knowledge of original source material out of my head, or even the manga, you can tell that anything after the whole revenge thing got tacked on.
Well, actually, I heard that the light novel is much better than the manga, because it's originally a light novel. And yeah, like everybody said, why is the show still going after the revenge? And I honestly don't mind the ending that much, because I love what they did with Reptilia's village, and Reptilia is my favorite character in the show. So seeing her just get that moment of peace before the show ended, I was good. I was good, especially with confirmation that Naofumi is not going to leave because he doesn't want to leave the girls behind. But still, it's just, damn it. I know we're never going to get a season 2, even though so much money has been poured into it. Also, you have the composer of the Made in Abyss OST on it. And dude, the fucking Shield Hero soundtrack is so good because there's some Zelda-expired goodness in there. And as a Zelda fan, I'm just like, yes, Kevin, give me more. Feed me more Zelda-inspired tracks. But it still sucks when they pull shit like that. Like, oh, okay, here you go, read the manga. We're not making any more. We're moving on to the next one. And it's just like, can the next one be season 2? Nope.
Well, like, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm gonna say I'm part of the problem, y'all. But the last episode of the anime, I guess because I read ahead in the manga and kind of in the light novel, cliff notes wise, like, to me, I feel like I wish I didn't read ahead in a way, because it changes how I perceive the certain points, except episode 18. No matter what you can say, that one was the worst episode. They literally padded that out for 18 minutes of them bickering while a priest guy was ready to do stuff to their faces. That was not fun.
I was like, can you assholes just take, like, I get that you guys don't get along and the queen is trying to make you, be friendly and whatnot because, hey, ding dong, motherfucker, the entire world depends on you. But why this guy, the fucking priest is in the background with the perfect opportunity to kill you all, and you're just fighting. And can you just shut the fuck up, please?
He's like, oh, I need to charge my beam is powerful, but I need to charge it conveniently for 10 minutes. So could you? Y'all could have shot him. I mean, yeah, he had like shields, but like, he was just waiting. Like, okay, you're bickering. And he even said that, like, y'all took way too long bickering. I'm just here. No wonder you guys are failures as heroes, and he's not wrong.
Definitely
not wrong. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was saying that I wish I was an anime only for Shield Hero, because I feel like how I perceived how I perceived some parts of the anime and manga changed a lot. Like, I know, like, when I was, like, getting a burger with my brother one time, my brother was talking about how he didn't like the anime because it essentially nerfed it nerfed some of the intensity out of the anime, because it was a lot more.
A friend of mine said, who read the light novel.
Yeah, and we don't really read the light novel, we read the manga, and, like, how in the manga, I can't believe I said in the manga. Wow, I'm part of the problem. I'm really part of the problem. I acknowledge it. And okay, so in the manga, like, for example, the queen had the biggest change, and the queen had the biggest change. She was not motherly at all. Well, she wasn't, but she was more for her country. She would have not said, oh yeah, spoilers. She would have not said, she would have not tried to save the two bad people.
Bitch and trash.
Yeah, bitch and trash. Yeah, bitch and trash. The way she's like, oh, I was going to offer myself, and I'm like, no. Okay, even if you took the adaptation out, I mean the light novel manga, I was like, no, this is weird. It's like, I mean, and the same thing can be said for the last part. For me, it just felt like everything was just sandwiched into the end just to give it a ending to just satisfy the anime only, so we wouldn't just talk about on social media about how it was unfinished, but to give it enough leeway to get people to read the source material. Because that whole Ratalia getting that piece just does not happen until way later, and the manga hasn't even covered that yet.
I mean, I am going to read the light novel after watching Shield Hero because I really enjoyed Shield Hero, and I'm trying to write a video on it, but I'm so stumped right now. All of the light novel readers say, oh, the light novel has more content and is more intense and blah blah blah, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna read it because I know that there's stuff cut out, and I really enjoy this, and I want more of it because I know I'm probably not gonna get a second season.
Now, in its defense, is its lesson intensity really effective show? No.
Nah.
No, it's perfectly fine. Making it more shonen friendly and more for a wider audience is like for example, that whole scene of them doing it wasn't that drawn out. There was that whole but there are some things I can't forgive, like that scene where okay, so there's a lot of plot holes they solved with Deus Ex Machinas, like the whole Jedi mind tricks they did to Naofumi when they want to convince him to be like, hey, be a good guy now. You know what I'm talking about? It's when he goes to bed and then the moral ghost.
It's like, yeah, they don't deserve, even though this fucking bitch falsely accused you of rape and she's a whore and I hate her, she doesn't deserve to die. Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah, that whole thing, it could have been explained away a lot easier. If you wanted to keep it within just the anime's explanation, why not have Ratalia tell him, no, don't kill them? Because she's the type of person that would say that.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have to, come up with a Deus Ex Machina moral ghost thingy to, possess him and be like, when at no other point in the anime besides, when no other point in the anime did they try using the moral ghost juice thing. To be like, hey, don't do this because I'm your conscience. I'm gonna possess you with justice and shonen morals. And I'm like, no. That's one part of the anime that does not make sense. It's just.
Now, if we're thinking about it in a sense of Dungeons and Dragons, though, it kind of does in a weird way. It's like, hey, we need to correct this plot. Let's just possess the player for a second.
I mean, yeah, if you're talking about in D&D, but look, Goblin Slayer could say that because they actually did put that in Goblin Slayer with the whole D&D element in it.
Yeah, Goblin Slayer was heavily inspired by D&D.
Shield Hero can't do that shit. But the beginning, the best part of Shield Hero, in my opinion, was when it focused on his story of rising. Literally, the rising part was the best part. How they dealt with someone being accused of sexual harassment, and it always being about the harassed. And they did it right. They did it with a lot of thought to it, because
no, people said that they were sexist for doing it right. And then I say, fuck you.
Yeah, people get falsely used, and look, if the only reason we know he didn't do it is because we're watching from an outside perspective. If no one of us could be no different from all the people in the NPC thing if we did not know anything as the viewer.
Yeah, and they only went off of one piece of evidence and whatnot. And here's the part of the reason why I got so mad is because Naofumi did start off the show being a mega prick, just the worst fucking asshole. And it's like, yeah, you deserve to be knocked on your ass, but not fall to the fucking core of the earth.
I mean, then again, he didn't even say in the beginning that he didn't do it. He just walked away and just... I feel like he should have at least said, I didn't do it.
He did say that he didn't do it, and nobody believed him.
He did? How come the anime made it seem like he never said that then?
No, because he was being held back by the guards, and he was like, I didn't do it. And then they said, oh, we have this one piece of evidence. And then he was like, I didn't do it, believe me. And the king was like, oh, fuck you, get out of here. And Alphamy realized nobody was going to believe him, and he lost everything, and then he walked away.
Yeah, and especially since, you know, it was already biased against him because the king already had a bias against the shield hero for his own things. That was
the heroes.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't that religion get changed because of the princess?
Oh, no. That's like, okay, so the whole religion thing was that originally was supposed to do all 4 heroes, but then, you know how anime goes with religion. Religion bad in anime. So they were corrupt. They were corrupt. Long story short, they were corrupt. They didn't like the shield hero because the shield hero tends to favor demi-humans. Humans don't like demi-humans. That's why they always throw the... Right. It's racism.
And then they removed the shield hero, but then Naofumi rose and got his respect back. And then everybody was like, oh, we should celebrate all 4 heroes equally. And everyone was like, yeah, let's do that.
Speaking of the 4 heroes... That's another critique I have for the show. The bow hero and the sword hero did jack all. Like,
exactly. It
doesn't matter what the light novel, the anime, or the manga. Why were they there? They were just pieces of space, especially the bow hero. The bow hero doesn't even make any big things until like after the plot, after the main plot is over, and only then that he starts showing his true colors as a little shit. I
hear that the bow and the sword get more development in the light novel, but for now it was like Naofumi he has way more beef with the spear hero because the spear hero has fucking bitch riding his cock all the goddamn time.
I feel bad for him after what happens because I know what happens. I mean he got what he deserved. He got what he deserved in the end, but I was like, because, like, there's another element that I feel like, okay, so why doesn't the anime even talk about it? Because, like, it's something they bring up, like, right after everything happens. And how, like, about the whole, why were they sent there in the first place? And I'm like, okay. And when you find out, it's like, wow, now Fumi kind of got lucky if you think about it. When he was summoned. But, I think we're spoiling too much at this point.
This is what you expect, though.
Yeah, but, like, anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say in this whole thing is that I'm kind of half and half with my experience, because I kind of wish I didn't read ahead, but I'm glad I read ahead, because it had more context. But is more context always good? Like, for example, in this season of stuff, I'm having so much fun with Dr. Stone and Fire Force hype with those 2 shows. Because, with Dr. Stone, I'm actually current on the manga before it came out, so that's one thing. But with Fire Force, I was completely virgin to it. All I knew was from the same person that made Soul Eater. And I did not know nothing, and I enjoyed the heck out of the first episode, and I should have.
From the trailer I saw, I got the impression of, like, fire demons, and you're fighting it literally with fire, but it looks amazing, and I need to go watch that. It's firefighters
literally fighting fires. Woo! With fire.
I got the impression of like Fahrenheit 451 on drugs, but that's just what I understood.
And Shinra.
Oh, it's not that dystopian.
And Shinra, my boy. Oh, I want to protect him. I made a tweet. I think that tweet. I made my tweet, but I have to protect that smile. He's such a cinnamon roll. I love Shinra. Oh, he's so good. I want to protect him. His smile is so cute. I want to protect him. It's not a crush thing. It's like, he's so precious. He's my precious little boy. Well, he's a young, you know what I'm saying. He's precious, and I have to protect him. Compare my excitement for that to Dr. Stone, and while I'm still Dr. Stone hype, because it's like I said with Shield Hero, because I know what's gonna happen, I realize I'm taking a different approach to how I'm consuming that content. And so far in the anime, despite I know what's gonna happen, I kind of didn't really jive with Senku or I mean Taiju. Like I didn't realize he would have that deep of a voice, but it works well, maybe too well.
I think the deep voice sounds rad because when I hear that voice, it's like, oh, you sound exactly like how I thought you would in the manga.
Yeah, he's
rad and rare.
Yeah, he sounds exactly how I thought I would. He sounds awkward and deep and kind of goofy, and that's exactly how he act. That's exactly how he should have talked. But it's like, it's like execution. It's like I'm still taking it in. Compared to Senku, who's soft spoken and kind of snarky, is also something I'm taking in. But I you know what I'm saying? I have a different impression because I was predisposed to the content compared to Fire Force. And
I'm waiting for the English dub.
English dub wait fest. Woo woo woo. What about you, Lamp? Since you haven't talked much, what are you watching this season or anything? Or what are you watching?
Right. I actually have completed Aggretsuko season 2.
Yay!
And, that is still it was less bold punch in the gut, but still they got that feeling of, oh hey, there's still a bigger picture here, and it's like, oh man, you guys, I love it. Please I hope for season 3, just please season 3.
Oh, they're totally gonna make a season 3.
You Netflix people.
And because I remember watching the Christmas one, and it's like, ouch, that hurt. That whole thing led up to one of the best ones and moments and sad moments yet. But okay, that's fair. And then season 2, which isn't I like the way they did season. I think it was a bit. I actually plan to make a full video about this myself, which I'm actually writing, so I'll get to that. But
I'm sorry, but I'm excited to say this. Lamp's making a video for the channel, guys, because I'm making him make content now because he needs to show his face. You know, he has 9,000 subscribers, Ari. Did you know that? Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, I do comic dubs. That's a story for another day. But before I forget, season 2. What I liked about it better than season 1, it was definitely more streamlined when it came to the events of the show. Because I think season 1 was good, was a bit scattered, but still good. And the second one really honed in on the characters more, and I think that's why I liked it better, because it was like you really got more of a chance to explore the characters and their lives, and less about like, oh, office, work, life, etc. And he's like, no, this is like more smooth transition.
Speaking of smooth transition, is this a good?
Go ahead.
To stop talking about Shield Hero and start talking about Aggretsuko, because that's actually in the title.
Yes, the floor is yours. As a non Netflix person, because I'm too poor for that shit. I have not touched Aggretsuko at all. I mean, I want to watch it. I'll probably, do and do that. But go ahead.
Wait, Lamp, are you done with your piece, or should I continue?
Go ahead. I'm done.
Okay, so like Aggretsuko, when I first heard about it, it was when the trailer came out, the Japanese trailer came out, and I didn't know it was on Netflix at the time, but I just saw this cute little red panda screaming death metal at the top of her lungs, and I was like, what is this? This looks so weird. I want it. And it turns out it's from fucking Sanrio. And I grew up with Hello Kitty, so I was all the more into it. And I told my friend Emma about it. And we were both like, dude, we gotta watch this when it drops on Netflix. So it dropped, season 1 dropped, and I was completely expecting one thing, but I got the exact opposite because I was expecting a fun fucking Beatles with this shit, man. And I absolutely adored it, and it became my favorite anime of 2018. So, oh god, I was really scared about season 2 because when they announced season 2, I was like, damn it, you ended it perfectly. Please don't let me down. I can't take this disappointment in my life. I love the first season so much. And I ended up loving season 2 just as much as I loved season 1. Like, yeah, the Christmas special was fun. It was fun to tie me over, but it was also a bit of filler. And they even addressed the Christmas special in season 2, which was nice. But season 2, Man, that was it. I like how they didn't rehash season one. I like how it didn't feel like another episode of season one. And I like how they did a lot new with season two. I like how they gave more attention to other characters. And they did that by kind of reeling back characters that were more developed in season one, like Finico and Sonoda. And I like how Retsuko hasn't forgotten her lesson of moving on from failure in season one. And now the lesson is, what do I want for me? And the new characters they added were also pretty great. Like, I want to punch Resco's mom in the goddamn face because she won't eat the fuck up. And I think that's awesome that I want to do it. And Anai, who I also hated in the beginning because I thought he was the worst entitled piece of shit, I actually ended up really liking the guy. But my favorite kind of new character from season two was Tadano, who I just, ooh, this precious boy. This precious boy. Okay.
Just real quick with Anai, didn't they just kind of like stop with him? Like
Yeah,
at
they
some point he
it,
just
it
kind of
kind of did halt. It kind
yeah,
of
because
did.
he kind of chilled out. I was like, okay, I'll help, and then it just kind of stops. I'm like, wait, you're just gonna cut it off there after like 4 episodes of Bill? All right, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it because Tadano is a much better character than Anai. I mean, Anai is good. I like Anai's
So,
character. I like
question:
how.
is Tadano the one? Like, there was an anime. Someone made a human version of all the characters in this.
Yeah.
He was like the really hot guy who was getting dumped in this one scene, going outside. He was wearing a suit. He had He was
Yeah, that's Tadano.
okay.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Okay, he's the donkey one, right? He's
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tadano is the hot donkey that everyone is thirsty over. And you can see why, because when you meet Tadano, he's so nice, but then he has this whole plot twist about him that you didn't fucking see coming. And it's like, oh my god. And even after you learn who he really is, he doesn't change at all. And he still remains a super nice dude, and he's so, oh my god, everyone I know loved Tadano. Like, I was my girlfriend, she watched the series about a week after I put up the Aggretsuko video, and she said, oh my god, I love Tadano. And then Tadano revealed that he didn't want to get married, and then she said, oh my god, fuck Tadano. And I was like, no, no, do not fuck Tadano. Tadano is a good boy. Just give him a chance. But Aggretsuko season. Where am I going with this? I don't know. I made a video on it.
I think the biggest thing, I mean, Tadano, like, he's not exactly a bad guy. He just has different priorities, and it's like he wants to focus on specifically what he's doing for his bigger vision, and he's narrow-minded in a sense, but it's also kind of a bigger picture. It's like, all right, you know what? You're being honest about it, but it's still conflicting, which is really good that way.
I
Yeah,
mean,
like that's part of what makes him so great.
if I may, as someone who's kind of virgin to all of this. Well, not virgin because social media just blows the fuck up. From what I'm just hearing, it seems like a guy who wants to focus on his career or focuses on his priorities. And I say, yeah, it sucks that he doesn't want to get married, but if at least he's being honest and upfront about it, he just look, man, I don't want to date, I don't want to like get married. I kind of just want to live a life. And there's this whole movement about not wanting to get in the marriage contract because marriage contracts are so blah 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 blah. But hey, he's being upfront with it, and some people just have that lifestyle now. I mean, I would say about 20 years ago, if you said that, or 30 years ago, it'd be not as accepted. But in an age where everybody's trying to like focus on themselves and be kind of like, you don't have to get married anymore to have a happy life. So
Yeah, that's kind of like the point of Tadano's character, because he and Aggretsuko finally gets a healthy relationship, because in season one she was in a toxic one, but this season she finally gets a healthy relationship and everything is great. But Aggretsuko learns that she actually does want a family and she does want to get married, and Tadano is upfront with his feelings about marriage, like, marriage is just a piece of paper. I don't want that. I don't want kids. I want to focus on my career, but I also want to make you happy. And he's very sincere about wanting to give Retsuko happiness, but he can't give her her ultimate happiness. And that's what, drove them apart. And Retsuko was the one to kind of break it off because she's like, marriage and family are things I want to rock, and I hope you understand. I love you and I will always love you, but we're too different. So please be happy and go change the world. And that's the moral of their story, because it's like, hey, having a relationship with Kissy Fun Times is great and all, but you also have to focus on yourself as an individual. What do you want? What will make you happy? And yeah, it's like, just because you're a couple doesn't mean that you're still not yourself.
I mean, it's not. I mean, to be fair, I don't know if you can get much from Tony Stark light.
What? What's Tony Stark light?
I always thought Tadano as Tony Stark from, like, not sans Iron Man, but basically he's kind of like that, which I think was good. I kind of thought it was Tony Stark light.
like early Tony Stark, like Iron Man
Yeah.
1 and 2 Tony Stark. I got that.
Which is a good thing. I like that. No, but it also helps as a character. I actually enjoyed that. So.
Yeah, I mean, in my video on Kabai and why I loved her as a character so much, I got this really great comment that opened my eyes to something about her that I missed. And this comment said that one other aspect of Kabe was, she said it's not about being marriage material, it's about being compatible enough to marry. And I thought that was so great.
Also, I just got massive respect for her in season 2 because, yeah, at first season 1, it's like, oh, she's the office chatterbox, whatever. And then you find out all that about her in season 2, it's like, oh,
She's queen.
okay.
She's the queen.
I was like, all right, then. You just went way up there. Cool. All right. Good to
Yeah,
know.
everyone loved her. Everyone loved this woman.
I mean, just from hearing the story between Aggretsuko and Tadano from the outside, like, I find it highly relate. This is why I gotta watch it. I gotta binge it. I gotta binge it this weekend. With certain sites. But anyway, like, with Tadano relationship, quick story time. I'll try not to be too TMI with it, but it reminds me of the relationship that I had broken off a year and a half ago with someone I loved very much, and we were together for a long time. But in a way, I had to end it because of how things were growing apart. I had to get my shit together as a 20-something-year-old. He needed to get his shit together, 20-something-year-old. And I was seeing that I had to break it off. And while mine was a little more complicated in how they ended, it wasn't as poetic as karaoke night. It wasn't a karaoke night. It still was a decision I had to make. I feel like it's a very healthy one in this environment. Sometimes you gotta figure it, like, even if you love somebody, like, you love them a lot, you have to know what's gonna make you happy and what do you want. And I wanted to get my shit together first before I irresponsibly moved a relationship to the next step with no, stability.
I think that's a very responsible thing that you did there as well, because Aggretsuko is an extremely relatable show, and it's a kind of show, it's a kind of rare show that makes me think a lot about life, because that's what made it my anime of the year with season 1. I came back to that show so much to not feel alone, because 2018 was so hard for me. And what got me through it, what gave me a lot of comfort and escapism was Retsuko and her character, because she reminded me so much of myself. And again, that message of moving on from failure. With season 2, I can still relate to it, but I relate less with Retsuko and more with Kabai, because she found her happiness. And again, with that whole thing about her saying it's not about being marriage material, but about being compatible enough, and Retsuko breaking off her relationship for her happiness, it had me thinking a lot about me and my girlfriend, because before we started dating, there was just a conversation, just a passing conversation, where I said, oh, I really want to get married one day. And my girlfriend and I, we're long distance, and we're like 9 years apart. We have an age gap relationship. I'm 20, she just turned 29 today. And she
Woo! Happy birthday, Zenith!
yeah, and
getting younger every day.
and she makes me so goddamn happy all the time. And she's the first person I've ever had a relationship with and the first person that I've ever loved. And I'm like, she's seen a ton of other people before me, which whatever, that's what happens. And I when watching season 2, I thought back to a conversation we had the first time I went down to see her in Rhode Island, because I'm in Detroit, she's in Rhode Island, and we were talking, we had like a passing conversation about marriage and weddings, and that conversation was like, on my end I was saying my wife, whoever I marry, whatever my future wife wants. And now here we are, and our relationship, we celebrated our 1 year anniversary last month. Our 1 year anniversary was on May 12th, and I went from my wife, like this random woman who I haven't met yet, to you are the woman I want to have a life with. And she's the same way, because we both want to get married. It's just too soon for that. And I just can't help but feel so lucky, because she's everything that I want, and she makes me so goddamn happy every day. And it's like, thinking back to Agresco, I think Resco did the responsible thing, because she deserves happiness. Everyone deserves to find their own happiness. And while I've definitely found mine in Zenith, she deserves to find hers and possibly Haida, maybe.
Friend zoned for life, man. I don't have to watch
season 3. I have faith. God damn it! Don't take it away from me.
I don't have
to let Aggretsuko and Haida be a thing.
I don't have to read the. I don't have to watch the anime to know they're lengthening this friend zoneness, man.
Season 3, damn it! I'm telling you.
Will we get a season 3?
We will get a season 3. They're not done with this story yet after how season 2 ended. I know it. I feel it. I feel it in my jellies. I can feel it deep in my jellies.
When I broke up with my person, I was thinking about. Okay, so just for frame record, yeah, I haven't watched the anime, but you know how social media is. They've been posting so many things. I pretty much know what the scene's about. So shut up before anybody said anything. Anyway, I was in Aggretsuko's situation. It's like, did I do the right thing? Am I just like, for example, like one of the things that like that person said was like in the aftermath, it was like, oh, I'm just afraid of commitment. Blah, 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 because we got to that point of like, wanting engagement and all that stuff, and, like, well, I did have the feelings and emotionalness, it's just, there was a lot of stuff we weren't ready for, and just things kept kidding up that was like, look, we have, like, because a relationship is more than just, yeah, it's like Aggretsuko says, a relationship is more than just huggy, feely time, especially when you're, like, a 20-something. You have to have the money to, like, go and see each other, and especially when you're long distance, because I feel you too, man. We were, like, on the completely opposite sides of the country. So, like, you know how much money that is, and then the strain on putting on one person, and who does what, and then it just, I felt, for the longest time, before I came to my enlightenment, and before this show kind of made it a lot more popular to think about, was that I was wondering if I did the right thing. Did I really have commitment issues? Was I not just trying to, should I just bear with it despite all the problems it could have given me? But I decided that it was the responsible thing to do. Was it taken well afterwards? No, it wasn't. It wasn't as poetic, again, as I said. This show, at least that scene from what I got shoved in my face with, was pretty damn relatable.
This is how you know Aggretsuko is a good show, because it's making you ask real questions and question things about yourself. And Aggretsuko is a really good show because it doesn't shame people for their decisions. Like in season 2, there are people who are married with kids and families, and they did that for themselves. But there's also people who are saying love is dead and it's not for me and blah, blah, blah. And I like how it shows multiple sides to this question. And yeah, I understand that feeling of not not having your shit together, because I feel like that all the goddamn time with Zenith. And well, I used to, and I used to just think that I wasn't worth her time because I don't have a job. My car is broken, and she has a job. She has a car. She has an apartment. She has all the things that I lack. Yet she has so much faith in me.
She's
and
tall.
Will support anything that I do. And that's part of the reason why, I feel so comfortable around her, and I feel so close to her, and just everything because she gives me that support that I need.
Don't forget the Japanese staple of tall, handsome and tall, good academics and economical. He's definitely she. Oh God, my bad, Zenith. She's definitely.
Don't remind me of the tall part. My
Tall.
entire life,
Tall.
I was expected to be the tall GF, and then here I go dating her, and she's just taller than me, and my 5'10" ass is so disappointed.
Yeah, she's basically the pinnacle of Japanese attractiveness.
She's taller than me.
Tallness.
I hate her so much for that.
Tallness.
I hate her so much for being taller than me.
My bad, Zenith. I didn't mean to.
Fuck you, Zenith.
I didn't mean to get pronouns reared.
No, fuck you, Zenith.
Man, when I met her at Anime Boston, she was so damn tall.
She's so much
tall. She's so damn tall.
I hate her.
Now,
back to Aggretsuko real quick. I actually feel like I'm more relating with which half between Haida and Anai.
Really?
Like,
tell us.
Okay.
Tell us a good word.
Okay. My relation, I say I relate more to those characters just because I am definitely, most of my day is spent in the mindset of Anai because, oh god, it doesn't get better in retail. But Haida, because there's an attitude of he just takes things in stride as best he can. Part of it's defeatism, but part of it's like a sense of keep going day by day kind of thing. Especially how much he has to deal with the Aggretsuko saying, "Oh yeah, you're my friend." But kind of a halfway between those two is kind of how I think that's kind of where I am. But God, I feel old when talking about that. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm with the character. That's why I kind of like, or I kind of relate with Haida more. But oh God, I do understand what Anai feels like that how to adult versus how to not adult, and I never got that memo anyway. So part of me is like, yeah, how do I do that? The other part's like, you know what? No, I got other things to do to get done today, but I'll try to adult as best I can.
Speaking of adulting, we haven't checked comments in a while. Anybody in the YouTube comments say anything?
Arya has said, he's the crazy one with the phone, which I think was she mentioned Anai. Other than that, that's what YouTube comments are saying.
Okay, so yeah, I mean,
I don't know what the Twitch side's saying, so.
Twitch sides, crap, I
my
lost.
girlfriend being stupid and gay.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's resorted to dabbing. She's in the dabbing department now.
God fucking damn it, Zen. If I swear to God, when I see you in Canada.
Oh, Canada, this might get copyrighted.
Oh,
I'm dating this dumbass.
On YouTube, Hikari Winter says the rap battle scene where they're having an argument. Yes, from season 1, I believe, that between Retsuko and Tone. Oh god,
amazing.
That was an amazing battle.
It was perfect. And then a night wraps is season 2.
Okay, so there's something, I mean, I talked about this in one of the previous community corners, but I like having a different perspective on depending on who I'm talking to. So in one, I think it was with Slaps if I talked about it. We talked about how because anime is being globalized with stuff like Aggretsuko and Vinland Saga, that we're getting more stories for us 20-something, 30-year-olds, a la regular show for the West. You know how we got regular show out of nowhere? For a show that clearly was for us and not
for kids.
I mean, yeah, it's still a kid show, but like it was like the stuff it was like giving lessons about was stuff for us, man. Like how to adult. I feel like anime has always been like that, like having shows about us. But like this is the first time I say in a while where we're getting a slew of like shows that are about this demographic about. You just get out of college, but you still know what the heck you're doing. Or you're in college and you still don't know. Because we always get the high school shows and the work shows for the 30-something-year-olds, but not this particular time period. That isn't isekai. It's like, hey, you're an adult. You need to learn how to adult, and that's okay.
Well, I think shows like that, they are rare, but they are around. Like, a show that really comes to mind with me is one of my favorite animes, Princess Jellyfish, because that whole show.
I was thinking of that the same thing. Oh
yeah,
my
that
god,
whole show has like the otaku sisterhood, and the main character it's not exactly how to adult, but she is a college-aged young woman living in the city, and she loves to draw and art, but she's so shy. And that show is basically about this young woman who meets, this beautiful young woman, this other beautiful young woman who actually turns out to be a man. But even so, Koronosuke helps her come out of her shell and find her place in her maturity. And, the ending of the show is like kind of the first step of her, kind of coming into not really adulthood, but becoming that princess, finding her place in the world.
Like, okay, another spoiler warning because this is a manga. Has anybody other than me know how it ends? Because I know how it ends.
No, please don't spoil. Please
okay,
don't
good.
spoil.
Okay, good. Before I was just gonna do like a, okay, so good. I didn't have to like. I would just this time I was being courteous because, woo, people got
Please
mad.
don't spoil. I haven't read the manga, so thank you for the
So,
spoiler warning.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, as for just the anime goes, what I liked about Princess Jellyfish and other shows like that is that it doesn't like try to make it like, oh, you like your anime stuff, it's not otaku bad. Like with a lot of the isekai shows or the hikikomoris, like, oh, you're unaccomplished because you're an otaku. So let's just take you to another world where your otakuism can actually be of use. I mean, that's always been the back of my mind, because like when you get isekai in another world, it just feels like yes, it's escapism, but it's in the most literal sense. It's like you failed at life because you liked otakuism or you were just shut in. So let's just take it to another world where you were forced to do something to make us. It's like a force to get with a society show. Like, what's another show that tried to tackle that? Real Life. Remember when Real Life had
Real Life did a really good job with that, but that wasn't an isekai. That was
I know that wasn't.
Chance.
I know I was going off tangent. That wasn't an isekai, but that was just one of the shows about trying to deal with like us people who like failed at or still growing with life. Like Outbreak Company. Outbreak Company is a perfect example of an isekai that like pretty much said in your face, hey, we isekai this person who failed at life, who has no parents, and we can do whatever they want. It was like Gate, where it was like the government knew about the isekai and they sponsored it and they took this guy to another world, and his idea and all he had, and literally the entire point was to isekai him to another world so that he could teach otakuism and the love of Japanese merchandising to the masses, so that they would become controlled by, consumerism. And then you know how most anime are, government bad. So the government was going to use that to their advantage to basically control the other world for war. It's always like that when the government is involved in isekai.
Well, while you were talking, I was thinking about parody, like isekai that kind of parody that whole, oh, you're a failure, here's a second chance thing. And the only show that comes to mind that ever did that is Konosuba. And that's very, very extremely loose, because with Konosuba, it was, parody isekai as a whole by taking this high schooler who's never goes to school and spends all his time playing video games, and then have him comedically die by not getting hit by a truck, but having his eyesight be so poor that he thinks he is. And then he goes to an isekai world, and the whole thing is just a giant, massive parody of that entire isekaiism. But at the same time, you have to think about how isekai is kind of evolving from that whole, here's a second chance where your nerdiness is powerful, to be more like diverse, let's say. Like with Log Horizon and Overlord, with Log Horizon, it was more, we have to get out because we're in actual danger, not of death, but of losing our actual lives and becoming more integrated into this game. With Overlord, it was, okay, I clearly have no way out, but I don't want to go back to the real world, so I'm going to stay here and be the bad guy. And then you have shows like Slime, where the guy died and he came to this new world, and that anime is incredibly peaceful, with a main character whose final blow to the bad guy is by giving the villain a second chance to be human. And then you have Shield Hero, where Naofumi spends most of the show thinking, oh, I'm probably going to go back to the real world. But then he realizes, wait, I was awful in the real world. And after losing everything, but rising back up and gaining my respect, I realized that my place is actually here. So this was kind of the second chance I need, but not in the same second chance as all of those other shows like Gate and whatnot.
Or ReZero. Poor ReZero. Like, man, he, like... They really like explored the whole respawn system, didn't they? With that show,
I do not like ReZero.
I haven't seen it, so all I know is Flame War got really bad, and that guy dies a lot.
Have you seen ReZero?
I have not. I've seen the clips of it, and in times where they do kind of abuse the respawn system, but I didn't actually see the anime, no.
I do not recommend it because I tried to get past the first 5 episodes where people say that it gets good, but I realized very quickly that this is a nothing show where nothing happens, and I was bored to tears. Actually, no, I was bored to death, and I didn't want to respawn.
But you know what is coming soon? What is coming a change? And I am being the holy gospel to it. Shoujo Isekai are coming.
Okay, you have to explain that to me. That's the show you have to explain to me.
It's not a show, it's a concept.
Oh.
And I still have a video in the works. I'm just picking the timing because we're getting our first Shoujo Isekai next season.
Yeah, explain that show to me.
Okay, well, concept. Hear ye, all who stand before me. I speak the gospel of a new branch of the isekai genre, shoujo or otome isekai. So essentially, okay, let's say this. Ari, you're the main character. Ari, you love your otome game. You like your bros, you like your dudes, you like this Prince Zenith girl who's like that secret route, who's the Yuri route, and you're like, I want to date this girl. And you're like, wouldn't it be great to just be there and like stuff like that. And then for some odd reason, you get whisked away or you die. You mostly will die because, of course, isekai. Yeah, she's the forbidden route. And then you wake up all suddenly in the bed, and then there's this person you don't know saying, "Oh goodness, you're awake." But you're not awake as yourself. You're awake as the villainess in the otome route. So essentially, there are 3 common routes. There are 3 common otome or shoujo isekai. So it's essentially a shoujo being isekai. So we got the main 3 are the villainous isekais, the holy maiden isekais, and then we have the mix-up ones, and those are kind of like a mixed bag. So the most common one is villainous. You die, get reincarnated. You always get reincarnated. It's not like you get whisked away. You don't get transformed. Reincarnation is the name of the game here. You get reincarnated into an otome world as a character in the game. Mostly the villainous if you're a woman. So
I'm the sexy seductress who has to seduce my Princess Zenith?
No, but like, Ari, let me ask you a question. When you play an otome game and you see a villainess, what happens to the villainess at the end of the game?
Shit goes down.
She either dies, or she gets exiled and becomes a commoner with the poorest of poor. So essentially, you get reincarnated as the villainess in the villainous route, and your job is to survive to the end of the game without dying or being exiled. Now this whole thing has been, at this point, Shoujo Isekai has been done to death with this one, with the most common one, which is Baccharina, which is coming next year. Oh yeah, that anime is coming next year. And eventually this is how the story beats go. You get reincarnated at like the age of 6. The age of 6 as the villainess. You have all your memories of your previous world. You just happen to have 100% of the game, so you already know what's going to happen. Of course, it's being a completely real world now, it might not go completely how the game is. Your job, if death is on the table, because not all shoujo isekais have death as an option. If death is an option, your goal is to basically get to the certain flag or checkpoint in the game where you would get annulled or your relationship and not die. And there are many tactics, like just don't interact with, try to get the harem route yourself. Don't interact with the heroine. Avoid the heroine. Befriend the heroine. Just avoid all the guys. Try to move to another country. Like, if it's death on the table, it really changes a lot of things. And sometimes we'll have a story where the heroine is also sentient. And no, she's in an Otome game. And she's and a bitch. And what's really common in the Otome and shoujo isekais like that is that the heroine is a bitch most of the time. Like, because she's also sentient, she's like, she tries, like, okay, in the beginning, a lot of these, you'll notice, you'll get really angry really fast because before you realize it, you kind of feel for villainesses in Otome games. They have a lot more character development than the heroine. Because think about it, Ari. Who plays, think about this existential question. If you, as the player, were not playing as the heroine, what would the heroine be like without a player?
Her own character, basically.
Nope. In some cases, the heroine acts like some kind of sentient-esque cuss, like in the one about the common sense of a duke's daughter, where she essentially is super scary mode, where essentially because think about it, because when you get reincarnated into these worlds, there's mostly medieval Europe. The heroine, when you really think about what the heroine does, she's kind of breaking a lot of class and laws and like social laws of that universe. Like, even in a normal world, if the heroine was trying to get past guards to talk to a love interest or whatever, or like essentially disobey like social class systems of dukedom or nobility to try to do something, she would go to jail quick. And that's what shoujo isekais tend to explore. If the heroine was not controlled by the player, what would happen? Or she was controlled by another player and another player was sentient. Like, if she was, like, because the villainess think about it this way, the villainess has a lot more backstory because she's written to be a character you hate. She's written to be a character you're supposed to beat. But in reality, the villainess has their own families too. They have their own lives, their own families, their own ambitions. They probably don't want to date the prince, but through political marriage and all that other shit, she kind of has to do what she gotta do. And then the heroine just comes up and takes her, and just ups. Think about it this way: you're the villainess, and you worked really hard in your life. You might not even like the guy you're forced to pursue. You might just want to be friends, and then all of a sudden, whether the heroine or sentience or not, you have to basically reach your fate of being of a certain date where you're basically told that you bullied this girl. Heck, in some of these, the heroine tries to set you up so you look like a bad person, and you might not do anything. It's a lot. And a lot of this changes because Otome games are story based compared to normal isekais, where just like they kind of do as they go. Now then, the second biggest type is the Holy Maiden type, which you know how in like, it's essentially Fushigi Yugi. You're basically nope. Isekai. Okay, so you don't know what Fushigi Yugi is.
Not really.
Oh, what's another one that, okay, what's the one about a priestess? So, Inuyasha?
Goblin Slayer?
No.
We'll go with Inuyasha, because I'm acquainted with Inuyasha.
Kinda like Inuyasha. I know people are gonna get mad at me for comparing, like, essentially, you get teleported or turned back in time or sucked into a book by a story where you're the priestess who can save the world with your holy magic and help the hero defeat the Demon King. You are surrounded by hot guys. But in most Holy Maiden stories, I talk about how all the pressures of being the Holy Maiden, like whether you have a duty to protect, if you don't have that duty, you're essentially garbage to them and they throw you away. A common trope in Holy Maiden isekais is the person summoning you will by accident summon two people. So you, who tends to be in their 20-something-year-olds, like an office worker, or say you work at an office, say you work at whatever's, and then the person that you got summoned with was a person exactly like the demographic of shoujo anime. Someone in their 16s, 17s, who's really cute, who's bright-eyed or virgin, never, and cute. So, say a prince walks into that room and looks at the two people and decides which one the Holy Maiden is, because there only can be one of you. And instead of trying to investigate which one actually has the magic power, aka it tends to be you, the 20-something-year-old, he essentially ignores your existence, goes to the girl because she's prettier and younger, and just takes her and walks out.
Well, that sucks.
And think about it. You got pulled from your life, from your family and all that other shit. And then the next day, they basically be like, I'm sorry, miss, that we pulled you out of your world, but we can't send you home because this is a one-way trip. But we also can't just throw you out on the street because as nobility, we will look bad for taking somebody from another world. So we're just gonna give you a room in the palace in the farthest part, give you like really basic clothes, and make up a story about how you're just a noble who's only sucking up to us, and then that's it. Yeah. These shoujo stories like to deal with injustice a lot.
That's some shield hero type shit.
Yeah, like it's
Damn.
very common in Holy Maiden isekais that there's two people, and then because one of them is not demographically the heroine, they just, and like they have to spend like 20 chapters trying to apologize, especially when they find out later that the older person actually has the powers of the Holy Maiden. Because think about it, whoever's the Holy Maiden has to go out into battle and fight the evil monsters face out with magic. If the person that they picked is the wrong person with no magic, what happens? They die. It ain't pretty. So when they try to explain, oh man, I think we got the wrong person, by that time they already pissed you off. Like rightfully so, they pissed you the fuck off. And you just want to live your own life. You probably hadn't found a really cool job in the palace. You made some friends your age. You even had this girl or boy you liked. I don't know. But then they're like, hey, you have to work for us even though we kind of kicked you out and saw you as undesirable. And then the king is like, I'm sorry we did all that stuff to you. And he's trying to, because, Rule 1 in Holy Maiden and Holy Maiden isekais, don't fuck with the Holy Maiden or she won't help you.
That's Rule 1 in just MMOs, RPGs in general.
Yes, don't fuck with the healer, or the healer will not help you. And that's essentially, now when there's like a story with just one person, they always have a twist. Like it's the person, but it's a guy, because guys tend to generally not be in the demographic, or it's one person, but they don't believe you, like Shield Hero, or it's two people, you both have the power, and one of them, which I didn't like. Two people got teleported. They took the prettier one, of course, because she was the demographic looking character. And when I mean demographic, I mean like she's what you would expect a protagonist to look like. The other person is like self-deprecating about, well, she looks prettier to me, and like, I hate characters who are self-deprecating. And then like they go through the whole story about how they're not good enough, and like everybody basically trouts on them from not being good enough, but then she's like top, and like it's just such a downer. She's a downer the whole time. And then the lesson of the story is like value yourself more, because while you may not be this person, you do have your own special qualms. Even though you may not be a textbook like person from a fairy tale, but at least you're your own person who can value yourself. I don't know, like, compared to, like, shonen, normal isekais, which are about escaping the realities of those questions, I feel like shoujo isekai essentially tries to talk about them more, about the injustices.
You had my interest peak when you were talking about the villainess arc.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, okay, I want to see the Holy Maiden.
Yeah,
While you were explaining, I realized that I think I have actually read a shoujo isekai, because there's this webcomic called They Say I Was Born a King's Daughter, where a woman is on her way back to her home where her fiance is waiting, and she gets stabbed, and she wakes up as a newborn baby in a world where, there's magic and whatnot.
Yes.
There's also rampant sexism, and she combats sexism with kindness, because if she steps out of line because she's a woman, she could die, because nobody cares about women because women don't produce magic.
Yes, that's a shoujo isekai. I mean, it's not shoujo isekai has been around since the 90s, like Escaflowne,
Haven't seen it.
Fushigi Yugi, Inuyasha, Slayer. No, not Slayer. Slayer was not. But yeah, those types. Yes. No, Slayers was full on fantasy. But, yeah, they're bringing back that old thing, and I'm excited because, with Bakurina coming out next year, that's the kind of one I feel like Bakurina is the Seiyo of shoujo isekais. If you know what I'm trying to say. They popularized it.
I gotcha.
That's the most vanilla one with the whole villainous route, and then a lot of them like kind of take their own thing. You will learn a lot of things. Like you'll learn here are my 5 things I've learned from a lot of. A, the idiot prince is an idiot prince. You know the guy you know the guy in Atome games who tends to be the prince route. Yeah, he's an idiot who doesn't. The heroine is a bitch. She's a bitch, or she's a husk of a person who doesn't actually think through to the actions of the kingdom. There will always be a fight between the first prince and the second prince this session. And it kind of asks, shoujo isekai ask questions that normal isekais don't want to ask that much. I mean, they do, but like shoujo isekai, that's their point. Their point is to ask questions like, why is the heroine the good guy? What if she was the bad guy? And not like the bad guy, but what if why is the villainess always the one being blamed for everything? She just has her own stuff too. Why do we have to hate the villainess? That's essentially what the villainess thing is about. And stuff.
Well, my interest is definitely peaked.
The whole genre, you can read about all these stories. Like, some stories I recommend is type in Bakurina. It has a long-ass name. Okay, they all have long-ass names, by the way. It's just, yeah. So, some of my favorites are Bakurina. I feel like if you're trying to get into that whole thing, read that one first. It has a manga. It has a light novel. Most of these came from light novels, but this one has a manga. Common Sense of a Duke's Daughter is another good one.
I think that's actually on my plan to read list for my upcoming comic series.
Yeah. Read Common Sense of a Duke's Daughter, because my god, the feels. So much the feels.
Yeah, I know that's definitely on my plan to read.
Read The Black Healer, something Black Healer. You know, actually, I have a list. I actually can pull up my list right now. Yes, I can. Let's see. Okay, so read, Actually, that's another one. That's not, okay, so, read The Power of the Saint is all around. That's a Holy Maiden isekai.
Yes, I'm reading that one.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. If you read, that's exactly what I was trying to explain.
Oh crap, I accidentally opened Photoshop. Shit. No, go away.
Okay. Read This Time I Will Definitely Be Happy. That one is that one. The Summon Kitchen skill is amazing. Amassing points by cooking in another world. That's another Holy Maiden one. Yeah, Bakurina is the staple though, for villainous ones. Another villainous one would be Yandere Atome game, which is, for some reason, yanderes are a big thing in shoujo isekai. It's starting to become a subsection of the subsection. People really like their tragedy in shoujo isekais. A lot of these stories start out really sad. If anybody's watched the anime Kotora-san, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I really didn't like that one.
In Kotora's,
I did not. I felt so cheated by that anime.
You mean how it gave you all that 15 minutes of woo?
That is fucking beginning 15 minutes. The first fucking 10 to 15 minutes were the saddest shit of my life, and then it turned into slice of life happiness shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? This shit started off so fucking tragic and sad, and now here you are, where it's oh, let's be friends, and it's you could have done this better.
I mean, they did it again at the end of the series. They're they just kind of smacked you. They smacked you with tragedy at the end.
Such a cop out.
But yeah, there's a lot of stories I could recommend if you go to wherever you read manga and just look up shoujo fantasies. You can find a ton of them. There's plenty of them to look out for. You just gotta find what you're doing that. But we should be wrapping up soon because a certain person has to go do some shit. So
yeah, it's like really close to midnight.
Yeah, we're getting close to our midnight thing. So before I sign us off and do this, I need to do this cute. I gotta do this really good transition. Dude, don't hold on. If you are someone out there who is passionate about wanting to talk about the stuff in anime, have an anime related outlet that is active, and you're just rising and being all small, then don't hesitate to contact me to be on the show with the hashtag Community Corner at AMShin on Twitter, and hopefully I will see you there. And other than that, is there anything else we want to say before we all depart?
Do we have to plug our shit or no?
Yeah, plug your shit. Everyone plug your shit.
Oh wait, sorry. What did you say?
Yes. Plug the channel that is yours.
Okay, alright, well, once again, my name is Ari. I run the YouTube channel, Call Me Ari, where I talk about anime and comics. If you want to check out my stuff, please watch all of the newer shit, because all of the older shit is bad, except for the Two Dorks Talk episodes.
Oh, come on,
so
now.
if you wanna get into my channel for the anime and the comics, I recommend watching my One Punch Man Season 2 video, because I literally suffered to make that, my Aggretsuko Kabai 1 Season 2 video.
Which made her blow up, by the way, because...
Yeah, it blew the fuck up, and I did not expect that. I also have some comics videos on there that I really enjoy, like my Goodbye to Melvina's Therapy, my Best Comics of 2018, and blah blah blah. And I'm still making stuff. I'm still uploading stuff. The next comics video is going to be called Great Manga You've Never Heard of, probably Volume 1. That's taking quite a while to do. So that's coming. And the next anime video is going to be me fucking yelling about hype-ass anime that I've been waiting all year for. So yeah, check that out if you want. Follow me on Twitter at CallMeRNS if you want. And thanks for having me, you guys.
We loved having you. We might get some repeat people eventually, but yeah, thanks for coming. So anyway, this has been me, the anime misfit of yours truly, Shannon and Lamp.
Hello. Goodbye.
And we will see everybody next time.
Bye.
Bye.